Otis too. So he's doing like 4 or 5 things.
Yeah, like
and his
4 or 5,
day,
like 3 or 4 part-time jobs as well as a full-time job.
Yeah, and his whole day is just art. Like it's just all art.
Yeah.
And with me, like I'm the same way. Like it's all about like art. And people also say like, well, what about like, don't you have like a life? And I'm like, yeah, of course I have a life. In fact, there's a system where I with my girlfriend, like, because she wants to hang out, and so I'm like, okay, well, there's certain days that I need to have for myself. Mm-hmm. That just like where I go hang out with the guys and we just draw, or even just talk about art.
Yeah,
I just need those days.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like days where we go out, all of us go out and we just hang out, and we just talk. We usually talk about art. Yeah. But it's just kind of a day to just like kind of let loose and just relax from all the art I've been doing. Yeah. Like you can't overwork one muscle, right? Because then you'll ruin it. Mm-hmm. But if you take times and breaks, then that's absolutely fine. But it's like you take those breaks because you do feel like you are working a lot. Yeah. But you shouldn't always take breaks or feel like, okay, I drawn 3 hours today, I'm done for the day. Yeah. Like it's like, no, I've drawn like almost 40, 50 hours of drawings this week so far. I need to kind of stop mentally, refresh myself, and then get back into the 50 to 60 hours of just drawing and stuff. Yeah. And it's like it's something that if you love, then it's not a burden. It's more of just like you love it, and you get excited about it. Yeah. And so I always tell people like there is no secret. It's just hard work. Yeah. Like the hard part is to understand that it's hard work. The easy part is it's just hard work. Yeah. Like once you accept that, okay, I just need to work hard, you find it's really easy. It's to get better.
Everything is possible. It's just there's not a secret answer. And I feel like a lot of people that ask a question that's a little bit like that, and like like what did you do, or how do you do this, or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think they do secretly or like deep down know that they already know the answer, but they're asking in hopes that it's not that answer. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I think just try to avoid the denial, man. And if you can come up with the hardest answer to whatever your question is, then you should try the hardest answer out, because that means that that's an answer that does work. And there's going to be a lot of answers to different problems, but it really is just this is who you want to be. This is what you want to do. And like you're saying, like you can't ask Kobe like, hey man, Kobe, hey seriously though. Yeah. How do you score all the time, man? And like, what are you gonna say?
What's your secret?
Yeah, like hey Kobe, how do you hold the ball? I just want to hold the ball. I just want to see, because then I can hold the ball like that, and that's not gonna work out. Dude, holding the ball doesn't make
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, and it's like. It's asking someone like how they hold the ball, like, or how they paint, like, like why is that brush like so good, like all of a sudden? And it's, to me, it's like you don't understand like how many brushes I've gone through to really realize like it really isn't about the brush. Yeah, and I you don't understand that. You gotta understand that like when I get to a point, I know what I need a brush for, and I make the brush for specific reasons, and so like. There's this story of Picasso, right? It's an awesome story. There's this lady, and she basically was saying like, "Oh, Picasso, I want a painting from you, because you're Picasso." And like, I don't know if you knew, but you're Picasso.
Awesome.
And she's like, "I'll give you like $100, whatever." And he's like, "Okay, cool." And she's like, "You can do it quick. It's okay. I just want like original Picasso, whatever." And so he busts out this Picasso painting like within 30 seconds or something like that. She gives him money, and she looks at the portrait, and she's like, "This is like this sketch, and it's like amazing." And she's like, "Oh my god, this looks so much like me, and you did it like in 30 seconds. It's crazy." And then like he came back with like, "No, it didn't take me 30 seconds. It took me 30 years." And it's like, oh dang, that's freaking deep.
Baller.
Yeah. And like if you interpret what that meant, is basically he was saying is that like, yeah, like of course I did it in 30 seconds, but I've been training like for 30 years how to paint. Mm-hmm. And so this is something not new to me. This is something I know, like all the right strokes. I know the right way to hold the pen or the pencil, or I know like to capture the right features when I do, because I've done it for so long that it's only easy just because I've worked so hard.
Yeah.
And like I was telling like people like that's why I paint fast. Like I paint very quickly, but it's not because I'm like this freaking crazy talented person. It's just because I've exhausted a lot of different options of way to handle a painting. I've tried like every kind of painting style. I've tried like all these different. I tried using like real paints, and I've just I'm starting to understand like what I really need in a painting. What like basically all I need in a painting.
Yeah.
And I just put it in there, and then I can just have something done.
Yeah.
And it's not that long. Like you don't have to spend so much time if you're very aware of what you need.
Yeah.
If you're like, I consider a painting like an opinion, really. Like,
yeah.
If we were to have a debate, like you and I, like let's talk about capital punishment, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you were for it and I was against it, right? And you went and did like hundreds of thousands of pages of research, and you just really understand freaking basically like capital punishment. You know my argument, you know like everything that I might say, and you know your argument. You're just really like filled with information, and then I come at you with like kind of maybe more of a stubborn like maybe my parents just taught me that it's just like something that's bad.
Sure.
You're like, oh yeah, capital punishment's not good. See how it's like a contradiction? Usually Texas is like a capital. anyway. So like, you know, but but then you're just like, but you know, this and that. Like your opinion is much more stronger, right? But that's because you've done your study, you've done your research, you know my arguments, you just know. Like you just know, and you have a confidence about yourself. Yeah. And I feel the same way with art. Like sometimes people don't research, and if they don't like, for example, like if they don't know their anatomy, like it's obvious to me. Yeah. And to me, it's just because they don't really know. It's not because they can't draw. It just means they don't have enough information. Their opinion is weak, and it's obviously obvious to us. Like we can look at it. It's like kind of stubborn, and but when you look at something like when I draw it, I've done thousands of studies on anatomy, so it's like I have some factual knowledge behind my drawings, and so it makes my opinion a little bit stronger. And you know, like when we start looking at other people's paintings and they're just really strong pieces, it's because they have so much information in there that we can't break down. Sure. Like we just see it as like mastery. And but once you like, there's times where I start catching up to people that I really admire, and I start seeing flaws. You know, because I've gathered information and acquired a better sense of my own art and opinion. And so I'm always telling people, it's better to like know what you're talking about and have a strong opinion rather than not sure what you're doing and always guessing. You know what I mean? Like it's just never gonna work out. You're never gonna have a strong piece if you're always guessing. Yeah. But anyway.
Cool, man.
That's art.
Yeah. In a nutshell, dude. In a nutshell. All right. Well, we should probably talk a little bit about the thing that's been going on. So.
Nah, not at all, dude.
So I did a thing based on a sketch. Like, did you have anything in mind when you did the sketch, or what was it like? Did you do it really quickly, or was it what's going on?
No, it was actually a study. I didn't know. Yeah, like, should I just keep going? Yeah. All right. So, like, I basically what I did was I was basically just dicking around, and then like no, I'm at work, and like I tell people too, like I do hundreds and thousands of drawings, and people don't see them, but sometimes those drawings, some of them are alright, like some of them are pretty good, and that's kind of like how this came out. Like I was just kind of practicing this kind of way of just adding washes upon my drawing, and I usually draw like dick-shaped head, like demon creatures. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should avoid that. And so I basically put ears and horns on him, and I was like, dude, this is pretty cool. And then I gave him like a smiley face, and I started getting really into like kind of like the personality of the design. Yeah. And that's when I was really like, just thinking about like, what can I do that'd be cool? And that's pretty much how this came about. Like it was really just like a sketch that I just kind of like finalized, and I said, this is pretty cool. I like this, and I just posted it. I thought it was great, and then like you got excited about it, and so did our buddy Dan. Yeah. And now you guys are like challenging each other in a sculpt off. Yeah. But like anyway, it made me like think like sometimes when I like draw my designs, I don't give them expressions, and so when I gave this guy an expression, it was kind of like fun.
That's really interesting because I don't sculpt people with expressions, and it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. It's something that seemed harder to get away from because professionally you're doing things that don't have expressions.
It's just usually very
on purpose. Yeah, and then but you get a little caught up in what's the kind of personality that can I put into this person's default face? Like you're trying to make the default face, but can you? And sometimes you feel like, am I helping the animator? Like if I'm putting in like something that's there when they're not doing anything, is that helping the animator? I'm not sure, but you get really deep on like, I mean, because you're not making an expression, but you are. Yeah. So that was something that I really liked about the concept, the sketch that you did, and it was super fun sculpting because not only that, but another thing in sculpting that I don't get enough of is sculpting asymmetrically. So an hour into the thing or whatever, he's already asymmetrical. So I'm not, it's totally this organic feeling thing where. And the personality just is coming through the whole time, and it's just super fun because it's there was something there with the character that was just really fun and awesome.
Character.
It was like a character with character, man. I don't know. I think you're onto something.
Dude, that's the secret art.
You got it.
If you guys,
I'm gonna cut this out because I think it's too good.
No, you're right though. I need to do more of that stuff too. I know at work, like I have a certain design where. Like I'm designing kind of like the character, and I'm starting to give him more emotion, and I'm giving a lot of gesture to it. Like I'm really focusing on a lot of poses for him, and just because I feel that this character needs it, and it helps like me to describe it to the directors, and it helps them to understand like where I was trying to go, like emotionally with this character. So I definitely think that whenever you're designing a character from ground zero, start off just doing like poses.
Oh
like keyframes.
I think your first thing should be an expression, and then you should try to derive to that default afterwards.
Yeah, and I think that's when the orthographic comes in. It's when you do the design in 3 dimensions. You're just thinking of how it's going to be fleshed out.
Totally. All right, well. Thank you for coming on, man. And we should do more stuff.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well, thanks, everyone. See you guys next video.